Right.
There are all kinds of things that you can utilize that we couldn't utilize decades ago, but it's the same curiosity, right? The same curiosity that brings us to the table has been bringing people to the table for, centuries.
That it has.
And we're
Definitely.
not any closer because nobody's cooperating.
In a way, we're not any closer. In a way, we are closer. It almost just depends on that reality of who you want to listen to, and what you and I have talked about before, what I've spoken about with many. Heck, it came up earlier in our conversation. To me, it has absolutely been proven. I really don't care that people tell me that it hasn't been, because they're wrong. And I don't care how pompous that sounds. I get general view
That's
is
why
that it
I
hasn't.
like you.
Yeah, it has.
It has. I agree with you. I know it has. I've experienced that myself. But it hasn't been proven to a scientific standard.
And I'm going to do my best to keep working on making that standardized. If that's what helps more people believe in it, then that's what it takes.
And if that's what helps people to be able to communicate, to learn the needs of spirits, that's what it takes.
Absolutely.
Because, I think it's presumptuous of us to think that, A, we can cross them, because we've never been dead. We don't know what needs to happen. There is no handbook. But B, to think that everybody that's here is stuck. I think people are where they want to be. That's a fairly new opinion for me based on experiences. But I do think that they have a need, or they wouldn't be. They're trying to accomplish a goal of some kind. And if we could understand what that was, or the people that they were around could understand what that was, then they could assist with that. And those spirits could go on to their next plane, whether it's reincarnation, whether it's just chilling through the universe, whether it's, heaven. And my personal belief is that heaven's really kind of what everything is, but that's just me. But I don't think that you're locked into going there if that's not what you're ready for. And if we understood that, it would be a little frightening to understand that, I think. People are kind of nervous about too much information. What do you think?
Right. Absolutely. One of the big questions that I have is, can you define what a ghost is?
There you go.
And we all have our thoughts of what a ghost is, but with all honesty, there's no definition because it's unknown.
Right. I agree with you.
Are we really truly communicating with the spirit of a deceased loved one? I've had experiences where I believe 100% yes. But is that because they are still on this earth, roaming freely to where we can't see them physically? Or is that because they've left this earth and they've went to another realm of existence that could be a parallel universe where we're both vibrating at the same time and we're communicating to them on another version of Earth where they're still alive? That's something that is truly a very unique possibility. But we don't know that. There's no way that we can find that out because we don't have the equipment, we don't have the technology to be able to compare those. Can we have that?
What do you think when you bring the string theory in? Because it does explain spontaneous experiences, right? But I don't see it explaining residual hauntings.
Why couldn't it be? I mean, In string theory, also, I think it could kind of combine that with the ability of time displacement. So if there's such a tragic event, let's just say, for example, like the Titanic, if that is such a unique event that affects multiple universes, then if you're at that same scenario or same location and then it's vibrating at the right frequency, the lack of a better explanation, why couldn't that explain a residual haunt?
To leave a stain on time itself.
Because I think that string is more random. That was my chair. I apologize. But I've always considered string to be a much more random experience. Theoretically, obviously.
I agree with you. There is a lot of randomness in string theory, but at the same time, there's the unknown of string theory. What is the constant of all? Higher intelligence, God, dark matter. There's so many things that we don't know or understand that we even really try to understand that could be affecting them. So those unknowns leave it wide open.
That's why I would just so love to go and talk to the people at CERN who are trying to achieve some of this. Don't you think that would be a great conversation? What have you seen while you were doing this? They're the only people.
I do think it could be pretty great.
Yeah, but they're the only people that might know.
You go deep enough into string theory, it's as incredibly complicated as parallel dimensions, and it's as incredibly simple as if we really think we're the only one, wow, we're idiots.
I agree, because there's no way. There is too much. Yeah, even if you start talking about ufology and life on other planets and stuff, it just will blow your mind, because how do we know that all of these exoplanets that are being discovered don't each have their own creation story and their own Bible and their own experiences with their God? So
they absolutely could. And what some people call God, others will call science, others will call the flying spaghetti monster in the sky, with or without.
You're right.
I'm not judgmental of any of them, as long as they realize that others are entitled to their belief system.
Yes.
And if their belief system is that they don't have a belief system, well, that's still their belief system.
And that's what they have a right to.
Yes. There's just more than us, no matter what you call it.
Let's put this in a perspective on something that we can all grasp here on Earth. The Amazon rainforest is vast, even with its deforestation, but that's another subject for another time.
True.
But in one square mile of the Amazon rainforest, there's over 2.5 million different species of insects. That's in 1 mile of the rainforest. Yeah. So if we put that on a much broader scale of Earth, galaxy, we're insane to believe that we're the only intelligent life form ever.
And it's also insane to believe that it doesn't come into play that they don't have to be that much more intelligent than us. They just have different evolution. And where we have focused on some things, then they have focused more. Yeah, different places have different ideas, even on our planet.
And again, I use that term intelligent pretty loosely because.
Well, yeah, what we've done to ours. But.
Yeah. We might not be the best species all the time.
Well, we're the only ones that go out and actively destroy our environment. So I would agree that we are not the most intelligent species at all times. And it's sad and it's tragic. And if you don't laugh about it, you're going to cry, right? And you do what you can to help, but it sure does feel like you're flinging the water out of the boat by teaspoons.
Yeah, quite right.
That has a hole in it.
Yeah. Well, we have definitely gone down a rabbit hole here, and we are a little bit late for our break. We will be right back.
You are listening to WPHM Digital Broadcasting, the best in paranormal talk radio.
And we are back live with Greg and Noah of the Supernatural and Paranormal University, as well as Paranormal Nights. They are some great investigators. And we have just been all down the rabbit holes. We have been enjoying things and moving into string theory and all the other things. But I am so enjoying this conversation, guys. Thank you again for being here on Fate Radio.
Very welcome, Kat. It's great talking with you.
And Noah, we had discussed a little bit about having you come out with discussing your history that brought you into the paranormal field. And I know it's pretty personal and I'm sure pretty painful. If you're comfortable, I would enjoy people having an opportunity to know why this matters so to you.
Oh, that's fine with me. It's good, bad, and different. It's just my background. Everybody's got one.
True.
But if it can help others, as I'd like to think, I hope it does, or just let them know where I'm coming from, then I'll freely discuss that or answer questions to it or whatever you wish. I have no problem with that.
Okay. Thank you. Well,
you're welcome.
Do you want to just share your history, or